What is going on, everybody? Kiamimaru 007 back with another video, and today's video is the long awaited Guardian video. You know, one of you were asking for it, right? And I said if the previous video got 2 likes, I'll release the video, and here's the video. But before we go into this, just a little bit of backstory, right? So I've been saving up for Guardian for about 2 months before the crystal came out, maybe a little bit before that, before the 5-star feature came out. Saved up to about 240 something thousand crystal shards, 5-star crystal shards, right? And unfortunately was shafted in this video right here. Go check it out. You love the reactions, right? It was a great summoning. You know, I thought if I got Guardian it would be a great video, but unfortunately didn't get Guardian, and I was really down after that. But Guardian's Cavalier crystal came, and I messaged my friend that was in that video, and I said, come on, how about let's just go for a Cavalier crystal, right? He's like 1, I'm like, nah, 3. But he was like, nah, he's going for just 1. So he goes for 1, I go for 1, and I get a 5-star character. I forgot who it was, right? And then I go for the second, right? And I get another 5-star character, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling the luck. You know, the rule is that if you get 1 5-star character, you have to go for another. So I go for the third, and out comes Guardian. Finally, after all this time, the only character I've ever wanted. And we got Guardian, and I was super happy, right? And I chilled after that. You know, I took my Guardian straight to rank 5, right? Used an awakening gem, a tech awakening gem on him, right? And took him to Sig 200, and now the video is here. So without further ado, let's get into the Guardian abilities breakdown and gameplay. I could tell you guys exactly why I like Guardian so much, share some of his abilities, you know, and just some of my thoughts on Guardian in general. Let's get into it. Right, guys, so here we have the rank 5 Guardian. Take a look at his health. You know, it's pretty good for a rank 5. His attack is decent, not the strongest attack in the game. But first thing we're going to look at is his synergy, and this is where, you know, this is one of the reasons Guardian would be a good member to anybody's team, you know, even if he's just a side character. He increases the entire team's block proficiency by 1,000, and that, like, block proficiency is very slept on, but you know, there's some great characters that, like, you know, make them great because of their block proficiency, Guardian being one of them. Captain America Infinity War, I mean, it's not just his block proficiency that makes him so good, but it is one of the things. You know, we got Quake, Nick Fury, Captain Marvel movie, all of them were very decent block proficiency, and you just make them stronger and more sustainable when you add a Guardian to your team. Guardian can also make previously you know, kind of bad characters like Cull Obsidian, who is a good character, right, but just lacks in the block proficiency department, and Guardian can give him that extra bump in block proficiency that he needs, right? And the other synergies don't matter too much. I guess if you have a Sasquatch, all-time blocks will inflict a shock debuff, dealing 50% of attack rating as energy damage over 2 seconds. So if any synergy, it would be the Sasquatch synergy. Otherwise, moving on from that, we have Guardian. Now Guardian, you do want him duped, right? And I think with his duped ability, solid God tier character, maybe even above in certain circumstances, right? But without the dupe, you know, he still does the damage, he still has various other aspects, but it doesn't make him as how do I say, durable if he doesn't have the duped ability. Let's just look at it right now. So at Sig 200 on a rank 5 5-star, his block proficiency is increased by 2,500, right? We take a look at his block proficiency real quick, right now it's at 3,734. Bump that up, it will go to about 6,000 and something, right? Nearing the realm of Captain America Infinity War, right? Who's at 7,000 and something, right? Then the energy resistance, right? Great energy resistance. I think this is the highest energy resistance in the game, minus maybe Mordo or Dr. Voodoo while they're blocking, right? So great energy resistance, very resistant to the point that sometimes he could heal from maybe Cold Snap with Iceman, right? He won't heal from Magic's Limbo, but he could take much less limbo damage to the point where you would be able to beat Magic within the time, right? So very great energy resistance. His bleed resistance as well in some cases, you know, if there's 100% you know, how do I say, bleed that drains your health to 100% of your health over a certain amount of time, he can actually heal from it, right? So with that 79.98 bleep resistance. I don't know why it's not 80%, but kabam. Critical damage resistance plus 314. Right now, this could help you in certain circumstances where you slip up a little bit and you get hit. Right, it has saved me a few times. I slip up, get hit by the defender, and Guardian's critical resistance stops them from critting me, and it's just amazing. Then we have his abilities to look at. Now, passive, Guardian doesn't land crits, and this could help in a lot of way, right? So when I say he doesn't land crits, right, that you will see no yellow numbers with him, but instead of critical damage, right, from the yellow numbers, it is dealt in shock damage. So opponents where you shouldn't be using Guardian, of course, would be anybody who is immune to shock, right? There are certain circumstances where they're resistant to shock, where I would say you could still use him quite effectively because his damage scales infinitely, but we'll get to that later on. But otherwise, you don't want to use him against shock immune champions. But other than that, Guardian is not critting, so you're fighting a Scarlet Witch, right? He's not going to be triggering any of her chaos debuffs or buffs, right? You're fighting Mr. Sinister, he's not going to be triggering that regeneration. Just a whole lot of circumstances where you don't want to crit. Guardian is your man, right? And then Guardian can trigger the parry master against non-contact hits. That means Infinity or Iron Man, with his non-contact hits. Havoc as well. So basically, Guardian is parrying everything, much like Proxima Midnight, which is really amazing, right? So keep in mind that whenever Guardian would crit, right, he doesn't crit with his base attack, he crits with shock damage, right? So you won't see the yellow numbers. You'll see, instead of yellow numbers, you'll see added numbers in red, and that's the shock damage. While all Guardian's abilities are below 100% ability accuracy for 3 seconds, he inflicts a shock debuff dealing 345.15 energy damage per second until restored. The ability scales with base attack only and cannot be affected by ability accuracy and max stack 1. So if you're fighting, a Domino, right, like I see on screen right now, Domino lowering your ability accuracy to even 99% or 90%, right? Then Guardian will put a shock debuff on that opponent for as long as your ability accuracy is being reduced. So if there's a concussion on you for a certain amount of time, Guardian will put a shock debuff on the opponent, which is very good. 345.15% energy damage. Sorry, I don't know why I said percent, but still good damage, right, over time. Then we have the armor up buff. Start each fight with an indefinite armor up buff, increasing armor rating by 2100. Great armor, right? Fighting Havocs, you want an armor up buff on you, and also you need the armor up buff to get all these benefits from his duped ability. If this armor up buff is removed for any reason, it will return after 14 seconds, right? And while Guardian has an armor up, wild time blocks against special attacks grant 100% perfect block chance over 0.5 seconds. Each perfect block grants 10% of a bar of power. So that's amazing right there, right? You can, Winter Soldiers specials, just any special really, you can perfect block it with Guardian. And even if you don't land the perfect block, you got such high block efficiency, it won't be doing much damage to you, right? Then we have the force field charges, really where Guardian shines, right? So the force field charges last indefinitely up to 3 charges. Any additional force field charges last for 22 seconds. Gain 1 force field charge every 12 seconds. While Guardian has an armor up, gain 0 plus 15% chance per force field charge to auto block the opponent's special attack. Gain plus 15% chance against mutants. This auto block can reach a 75% chance max and is considered a well-timed block. So this is in those dire situations where maybe the opponent has an unblockable special, well, not an unblockable, but you just get hit by a special because you dashed in for some reason. Guardian has the chance to auto block it, right? This is also sort of a defender type move for him if you were to place him on defense, right? I wouldn't say rely on this auto block, don't just go in willy-nilly, right, and attack the opponent, but it is a great safety net that has helped me a few times, right? Consume 1 force field charges to block unblockable specials against mutants. Right now it's not just mutant unblockable specials, right, but mutant unblockables all together, right? Just cannot go through Guardian's block, right? So if a mutant hits you with an unblockable special, right, you can stop it, and you can wild time block it, right, to gain the 10% power, right? Then on the fourth light attack, consume 2 force field charges, inflicting a power drain, removing 20% of the opponent's current power, right? So you land, if you accidentally put an opponent to their third special, you can quickly land your fourth light attack, right, and will drain 20% of their power. Now you will see this effect greater if they have 3 bars of power. If they have 2, you'll see less power being taken. If they have 1, there'll be less power, right? So 3 bars of power is where you'll see the max power drain from that. Then we have the heavy attacks. The first hit consumes 1 force field charge to gain an armor up buff, increasing armor rating by 2100 for 15 seconds. Now this is where you've lost your armor, maybe to an armor break or something, and you want it back. You could just quick parry, heavy attack, right, consume 1 force field charge, and you'll gain your armor up just for that 14 seconds where your armor up is on cooldown. Then we have the special one. After activation, gain 3 force field charges. The last hit inflicts a taunt debuff lasting for 6 seconds. Opponents that are taunted have their attack rating reduced by 40% and have a 70% higher chance to activate a special attack. This could be in situations, when maybe the opponent's being a little bit stingy with their special attacks, or maybe you're fighting an all or nothing, right? This could really help in those situations. We'll get to the special 2 last, but secondly, we have the special 3. On activation, gain 6 indefinite force field charges, right, and inflict a shock debuff lasting debuff dealing 3,451.5 energy damage over 20 seconds, right? Now, the reason I say we're leaving the special 2 for last is because what you can do is you can gain as many force field charges as possible, or as you want, with the special 3 to infinitely ramp up your damage on the special 2, because the special 3 force field charges last indefinitely, right? So they won't expire after 22 seconds like normal force field charges. And then you get the special 2. The first hit consumes all force field charges, increasing attack rating by 2,876.25 for each force field charge for the duration of the special attack. So this is where Guardian's burst damage comes into play, because you can infinitely, or as much as you want, ramp up the amount of force field charges you have, right? You can go to 100, you can go to 2000, right? You can go to 6, you can go to 12, right? And when you launch your special 2, it will consume all those force field charges and increase your attack rating, right? And you'll see that damage numbers in red, so you won't see it in yellow, you'll see it in red, right? It's maybe why Guardian is looked over by people, because you don't see his damage in those those big yellow numbers. You don't get to see those, but his big red numbers are some of the biggest numbers in the game, right? And then if Guardian has 3+ force field charges, consume 1 armor buff, inflicting a shock debuff dealing 5,752.5 damage over 3 seconds. Now with this special 2, right, if you're fighting a Havoc, for example, right, your special 2 is going to be energy damage. So before you throw your special 2, right, parry, heavy attack him to get 2 armor up buffs, so that when you do throw the special, you don't lose your armor up and then the plasma detonates, right, and your Guardian might die. But Guardian otherwise is an amazing champion to fight Havocs with, Dominoes with, right? Most mutants except of course the Magnetos. And this attack cannot be evaded by a mutant champion. So when you got a Domino that is out here with the luck on her, right, she's not going to be evading it. Nightcrawler is not going to be evading it. Anybody with an evade is not going to be evading this special if they are a mutant, right? And that's about it for Guardian's abilities, right? So these abilities, with his block proficiency, right, the fact that he doesn't land crits, all of these things, his damage is in shock damage. For example, if you ramp up Guardian enough, he should be able to not one-shot every Labyrinth of Legends character, but one special 2 should be able to take them out, because he won't be hitting the damage cap, because the critical damage, the big numbers, will be in shock damage, and there's no cap to the shock damage, right? right? So Guardian, a great option for Labyrinth, right? You just have to be very patient, but with his high block proficiency, you know, he's very sustainable. You won't really have a problem, you know, taking out a few characters before you even need to use your first health potion. You just need to play flawlessly, right? But Guardian, a great character for newcomers and older veterans of the game because of his high block proficiency with his duped ability, right? All the perfect blocking on his on special attacks, right? He'd be a great character to carry you through a lot of content just because of how sustainable he is. But that's enough reading of Guardian's abilities. Let's jump into some Winter Soldier gameplay. Right, guys, so of course we're fighting the Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. It's the best training dummy to test out how strong exactly a character is, right? And I think Guardian almost caught up to Magneto's time. We remember Magneto being an absolute monster for this fight, right? So yeah, Guardian, you know, kind of caught up to him. But here we go. So what we're doing with Guardian right now is we're gonna build up to about 3 or 4 special 3s to get their 6 indefinite charges on each of them, right? And do a massive special 2. We're just trying to do this as fast as possible right now. A normal rotation with Guardian, you'll see yourself maybe doing 1 special 3, 1 special 1, and then a special 2 in places like Act 6, Alliance War, right? So it doesn't have to be this long, but because Winter Soldier has such a high health pool, right, we're going for this long rotation with Guardian. And like I said, you know, since his critical damage, his big numbers are in shock damage, right, you will be able to do this massive burst damage in Labyrinth of Legends without what's now the damage cap stopping you. I have done before, maybe I'll do a video on that next just to show you that it does work in Labyrinth of Legends, right? But yeah, basically doing that special 3, going underground, getting oil, you know, which is what the suit was made for. This is what Hudson made the suit for. Right? Punching Winter Soldier just a couple of times, like I said. So this, it can happen fast, it can happen slow to do this rotation, especially if the opponent has you know, gunshots like Punisher 2099, Winter Soldier on that special 2, you know, all of that perfect block, right, will translate to 10% power, right, which is amazing, right, and will make the rotation go a lot faster. And that's what we're basically doing, just building up enough charges. You know, you can you know, work out in your head how many charges you think a fight would take. If somebody has, you know, maybe it's a boss fight, right, in war, or a boss fight in the Cavalier difficulty, then you might want to do a maybe 2 special 3s. But most of the time he manages to take them out with a special 3, a special 1, and then a special 2, right? Get that massive burst damage off, which you will see the numbers in red. Most importantly, we're going to be seeing these numbers in red, not yellow. He's got no yellow numbers, none of the big yellow numbers, which everybody's a massive fan of, right? But here we go, we're just beating up this Winter Soldier, trying to get our charges, right? We're trying to do this as fast as possible, you know, just to gauge exactly how strong Guardian is. And like I said, he does come up close to Magneto's time. I think he might actually beat it. I didn't check exactly, but I think he might actually beat it in terms of beating Magneto's time. There you saw as well, you know, I didn't perfect block, but the damage isn't that harsh against the block because of how high Guardian's block proficiency is. But yeah, that's about it for Guardian, guys. I'll try and do a Labyrinth of Legends video to show you that he can break the damage cap with his special 2. But otherwise, that's it from Guardian. We're just gonna get this perfect block right, get our special 2 as fast as possible. But yeah, Guardian, great character, definitely my favorite character right now. Kind of fun to play and all that, and I love him as my profile champion. But that is it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, leave a like, hit the subscribe button to join the community. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.